Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Sportsman's Warehouse here in Columbia, South Carolina. We got Sportsman's Warehouse Pro, Anthony Gagliardi, with us. Anthony, big week for bass fishing in this country with the Bassmaster Classic going on at Grand Lake in Oklahoma. Here regionally, locally, we got the CBC going to Santee. Hey, a lot of great anglers, a lot of money on the line. Let's start with the Classic. I mean, that's an event that everybody looks forward to every year. I think with the tournament being in March this year and Grand Lake being what we know about Grand Lake, shouldn't we see some really good weights?
Yeah, I think so. Grand Lake's it's an excellent fishery. There's a lot of big fish in that lake, and we're getting to the time of year when those fish start moving up. And there's a lot. The thing about Grand is there's a lot of shallow cover. There's a lot of natural shallow cover that those fish get on, and the fact that there's a lot of big fish there, just hitting it right at the right time in March, I think you're going to see a lot of really good bags. From what I've read, the water's a little bit muddy. They're faced with a little bit muddier conditions than what all the guys anticipated. And with the colder water temperature still, it may be a little bit tricky, but the big fish are still going to bite, and those guys are still going to figure out how to catch them.
All right, now, speaking of figuring out how to catch them, you got a few things here that you would recommend for Grand Lake. You fished it one time, not a lot, but knowing that the water's so dirty and what these guys like to do, what do you think guys are going to throw?
I got two baits here, pretty standard stuff, in my opinion, when it comes to fishing this time of year. In dirty water, the first is just a chatterbait. It's going to be something that a lot of guys are going to fish with out there. A lot of guys all over the country catch fish this time of year on a chatterbait,
right.
But dirty water in particular, when those fish are moving in, it's really hard to beat that just because it gives off so much sound and vibration. You're able to pull fish from a greater
right.
distance. And just something about a vibrating bait early in the year when the water's still cold, rattle traps are good. And some guys will probably catch them on a trap. But then you're going to see a lot of big fish caught flipping a jig this week, and maybe not necessarily just flipping. There may be some guys that are able to find a little bit cleaner water that might be able to catch some out deep, like a buckeye mop jig or something like that, a big jig that they could drag out deep. But with the water being a little bit muddy, from what I'm hearing, that might not play as much as the guys that are going to, predominantly target shallow cover. There'll be some big monster fish caught on a flipping a jig this week.
It's going to be a fun tournament to watch. Don't forget our own Vance McCullough is out there this entire week and weekend covering it. We'll have reports every day and every night. Looking forward to that, as well as Chris Brown will be out there with us. Anthony, we got another big tournament here. The CBC at Santee, I expect that to be a full field, 200 boats, 10,000 cash guaranteed, and then you got all the contingency money. I mean, the winner of that could be $14,000, $15,000 easy. What a great time to go to Santee.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to hit Santee, right on the head. I think all those big females are going to be pushing in. They're not going to quite hit the spawn, I don't think. It's right on the verge though, but they're going to hit it when they can catch a lot of big pre-spawn females. And Santee's really it's come on pretty strong, over the lake. It's always been a great lake, but it seems like it went through a period years ago where the weights weren't as good or the numbers weren't as good, but it's really come back, and it's, in my opinion, I don't fish it as much as I'd like to, but in my opinion, it's one of the better lakes here in the southeast. So, look for those guys to catch a lot of fish this week. I got two baits here for that one as well. And the first one, just spinnerbait. Back to old school power fishing. A lot of guys are going to catch fish on a spinnerbait this week. It's a good. They got some dirty water down there too. All the rain we've had here in South Carolina has a lot of these lakes with a little bit more color than what they might normally have. So spinnerbait's going to be really good there. And then, I think the rattle trap. The rattle trap, this is an evergreen rattling bait, a king shad, but it's always good at Santee. There's a lot of big fish, a lot of big bags caught on a vibrating bait down there because they get those pre-spawn fish will come in and they'll concentrate either in a depression or, a ditch leading onto a spawning flat, and a vibrating bait like a rattle trap or something like that is hard to beat. So those guys are going to catch them on that.
All right, well, let's take it one step further. What do you think the winning weight's going to be for a team of good anglers down there this weekend?
It's going to, I wouldn't at all be surprised by, a 30-plus pound bag. I think it's, you don't always, that's not always going to happen. The fishing could be great. There may be a lot of mid-20s or upper 20s, but I would not at all be surprised by a 30-plus pound bag. So.
Well, I tell you what, we're going to be down there tracking that one as well. A lot of activity going on in the fishing arena now. Good luck to everybody at the Classic. Good luck to everybody going to Santee and all the BFLs this weekend. And don't forget, all these tournaments we're talking about are on the tournaments page of anglerschannel.com and on our homepage under the tournament tracker on the right-hand side. Anthony, great seeing you. Best of luck to your next event, which is?
We're going to Hartwell. Hartwell in a couple of weeks. Looking forward to that. I've had a little bit of history up there.
Yeah.
Went to school at Clemson, so it's always nice to have a tournament close to home. And Hartwell is what I would consider my second home to Lake Murray, but looking forward to it.
We'll be tracking that one too. Great seeing you, buddy. And folks, don't forget all these products we cover each and every week are available at sportsmanswarehouse.com. We'll see you next week.